99 keys to have a good marriage. 50 keys to be a romantic. 25 musts for a successful marriage. Love never fails. Now, what type of love is this? Is this my love for a filet mignon? Is this a love for my dog named Molly? Or is this a love for my wife? What type of love are we talking about? Well, in the Greek, there are 4 words. I'm going to give you 3 of them. The one is called phileo, where we get the English word Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. So a phileo love is I love my brother Ron, all right? I can love my spiritual brother, my real brother, my sister. It's a brotherly love. Very important. A second word for love is eros, where we get in the English erotic. It's more of a sexual love that's intended between a husband and a wife. All right? A lot of young people think they know better today. They think they can have this erotic love without marriage. But what they don't understand when it comes to love, the greatest picture of marriage is Jesus Christ and his church. And they are to be faithful to one another. And the gift of erotic love is virginity to your spouse. The greatest gift that one can give to their spouse is their virginity. And the act of marriage is not a piece of Connecticut paper that says, by the authority invested in me by the state of Connecticut, I now pronounce you husband and wife. The act of marriage is when they give erotic love to one another that consummates the marriage. It is what is important. And by the way, if people marry without their virginity, it's not that you can't be forgiven, all right? But if you want some pastoral advice, you better make up for that gift of virginity you gave to someone else with a very expensive gift. It's not the end of the world, but it is intended for your spouse. Phileo love, erotic or eros love, and now the love from this passage, agape love. Anyone know what agape love is? Agape means unconditional love. It means you can treat me like dirt, and I'm still going to love you back. You can scream and holler at me. I'm not going to give you what you deserve. I'm going to give you what you need, and I'm going to rise above, and I'm going to give you grace and love. That's what I'm going to do. And this is the agape love that we're talking about. Now, my wife and I have been married for 32 years this coming summer, and we've been pastoring for 31 years. And we have counseled a lot of people. God has blessed me in order to get an education. He's given me the desires of my heart. Psalm 37:4, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And I wanted to get a bachelor's and a master's degree, and the Lord blessed me to get that. And with that, I've had psychology, sociology, counseling sessions, graduate sessions, in seminary with counseling, and I've learned a lot about human behavior, relationships, marriage, and I've read all those books and all those articles, and after about 12 years of reading a lot of these good things, I believe God helped me to narrow it down to 5 principles that if you abide by this in your relationships and in your marriage, you will have a good life. And if you don't agree to these, you will have more problems than God intended for you to have. How many know you can have more than what God intended? Just disobey him. You'll have more than what God intended. And so today I'm going to give you 2 of these. And then next week I'll finish up. Oh, look at that, Roger. Well, I was gone. My clock died. I guess so. So I'm going to give you these rules of solving problems, resolving conflicts. All right? Very important. And every conflict, every problem you have in life and in a relationship, in a marriage, is like a little spark. And it either blows up or you put it out. And everyone brings 2 buckets to every conflict. You either bring a bucket of gas or you bring a bucket of water. And do you know what releases the bucket of gas over the spark? What comes out of your mouth. You know what releases the bucket of water on the spark? What comes out of your mouth. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit, whether it's good fruit or bad. And then Proverbs 18:22. Interesting that God put this right next to this 21. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Isn't it strange that that verse is right after how you use your tongue for good or bad? And so let's get into this, all right? In your outline. How do you resolve problems and conflicts in your relationship, in your marriage, in your friendships? Well, this is the first one that I've learned. It's called attack the problem, not the what? Say it with me. Attack the problem, not the person. One more time. Attack the problem, not the person. Now, it's important that you understand that when you are in an argument, and I'm just going to use your spouse, its natural response is to get defensive. When your wife hollers at you or your husband hollers at you, it's natural to just get defensive, because usually when you begin to argue, you pick on their weakness, you pick on their inabilities, you pick on their character flaws. Those who love you most can hurt you worse. And so we naturally just argue and we come after people. And what you need to understand, that the way to attack the problem and not the person is to just pull back the emotion, and you have to ask yourself, what are we arguing about? What is the issue? A long time ago, my wife and we got in an argument. And we were going on our first vacation. These lights went off. We were going on our first vacation without our kids. Now, every time we went on vacation with our kids, we always fought. So we went on this vacation, and we were driving to Florida, and we started fighting, hollering at each other. And then I said, "Why are we arguing at each other?" And she says, "I don't know." True. And I said, "Let's blame President Bush. It's Bush's fault." Still to this day, we remember that. And it's like, we got to learn to have vacation with each other without the kids. We don't have to fight because the kids are in the back seat. Are we there yet? I got to go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. So when you argue and you're looking to attack the problem, not the person, you remember Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The next scripture, Ephesians 4:2 says, with all lowliness or humility and gentleness, and with long suffering. What's long suffering? Long suffering is patience times 10. Bearing with one another in what? Agape. Not phileo, not fighting fair, but I'm going to love you no matter how you holler at me, what you throw at me, what digs you give me. I'm going to not give you what you need, or not give you what you deserve. I'm going to give you what you need. One of the things that my wife and I, when we do premarital counseling, and this is a refresher for Matt and Sammy Gambardella, because we taught them these principles, but when you have a problem in a marriage that needs to be resolved, one of the ways to throw water on the spark and not gasoline on the spark is to never use the word you when you're trying to resolve a conflict. So you don't say, "You idiot, you always, you're just like your father, you're just like your mother." One of the ways to resolve conflict is for you both to agree to never use the word you, because you is gasoline. All right? Now let's say we just come from the Super Bowl last month. Let's use this as an analogy. Let's say that a husband goes out and he comes home 3 days before the Super Bowl. He goes, "Honey, I just saved us $1,500. And She goes, oh boy, what did you buy? I bought an 82-inch Samsung LED for the Super Bowl, and it was $4,500. I got it for $3,000. I saved us $1,500. And she says, what? Why are you so selfish? Don't you ever consider me? What about the kids? It's always about you. We haven't even paid off our Christmas card. What's the mistake she's making? You. And this is where things usually blow up. Now let me ask you. Let's see how you are. Define the problem. Define the problem. It is not money. It is discussion and communication. He broke the third rule of marriage from Genesis 2. I preached on this a few years back. The law of priority, the law of pursuit, the law of possession, and the law of purity. The law of possession goes like this. You do not possess your body, I possess it. I do not possess my body, you possess it. And together we co-own, co-administrate this marriage and this family. We do not make decisions independent because you don't own your wallet. I own it, and I don't own your wallet. You with me?